And now I would be adding us guest speakers. So Alisha, welcome. Thank you for taking time on a Saturday. Really happy to have you here. And I will also add Abhi on the stage. And Abhi and Alisha, please introduce yourself, and then we'll get started with the behavioral session.
Well, thank you, Ashish. My name is Alisha Klauger, and I do work for AWS Training and Certification, where I support our AWS Skills Centers.
Great to have you here.
Hi, everyone. My name is Abhi. I'm a partner sales solutions architect at AWS. I've been with the firm for a little over 3 years and excited to be here.
That's nice. So today's topic is all about that how we could go ahead and then be a solutions architect. So let me quickly share screen and tell you what we are trying to talk about. So we are going to talk about transitioning from traditional IT role to cloud solutions architect, and I'll hand over to Marko to lead this discussion. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Ashish. So basically, we're talking about migrating applications. Why not migrate your profile from wherever you are right now into tech? And that's why I actually brought two guests to this session today. First, I really want to talk about what it takes to go into tech. How do you transition from either a non-tech role into tech, or how do you transition from an on-premises role, just like migrating your application from on-premises into cloud? How do you transition your on-premises or traditional IT role into a cloud role? And I have Alisha with me to talk about this specific topic. She's a regional lead at AWS Skills Centers, and she champions accessible cloud education and directs the North American team to deliver trainings, not just across North America, but across the globe. There's virtual trainings across the globe. And I think she's the right person to tell us, how do we transition from a non-tech or an on-premise role into a cloud role? Is it difficult?
It really isn't. Thank you, Marko. The good news is, I think the group that's watching this has started, right? It is leaning in and learning. If you think about when you first stepped into tech, you had to upskill. It's the exact same for cloud skills and now AI skills. The skill centers focus on kind of very foundational learners and will guide through instructor-led classes, through the cloud practitioner or the AI practitioner certification. But it is mostly about taking that time to invest in yourself. And I think when you are skilling, you're not just growing your cloud skills, but you're showing a tenacity, some time management, and that curiosity that will serve you well in whatever job role you have.
Oh, 100%. I think the curiosity is key here.
Mhm.
Being willing to learn and being just able to make use of all of the resources out there. All of the stuff is free. There are so many resources that are free out there, including the program that we're on today. BeSA is also free. And I think that investing time and investing your effort into learning is key. What do you think, Abhi?
No, that's 100% correct. Even for someone like me who comes from a non-IT background, I did invest a lot of my time into resources. And back then, when I did not have a full-time job, and I used to work part-time at Tim Hortons, which is a restaurant chain here in Canada, I used to think probably 10 times, should I invest in courses? But back then, we did not have these many free education out there. But 100%, we must invest in ourselves in order to for us to upskill and become successful in life.
And yeah, what an achievement. You've come so far, Abhi. Like when you came to Canada, starting at Tim Hortons, and now you're a solutions architect at AWS with partner sales, and you're supporting financial services industries in Canada. You're supporting enterprises. You're supporting greenfield customers. Like, what an amazing achievement. How did you get there? What was the thing that got you there? What do you think?
Well, I'd be lying if I say it's all my hard work. I would say it's a amalgamation or combination of meeting the right people, having the right soft skills, the behavioral track being very important in life. I have seen that firsthand. And yes, my story is a bit unconventional compared to the rest. I come from a non-IT background. I did not have a degree in tech. in IT in particular. And I did a variety of different roles, and I was fortunate enough to work in roles like data analyst, DevOps engineering, business analyst, to finally become a technical trainer, and then later transition to become a solutions architect at AWS.
Yeah, what an amazing achievement! What a wonderful career, starting from zero and going to essentially an SA hero, like many of our viewers today who want to become SAs. Alisha, do you see many of these types of stories in your field where you're working with somebody who's non-tech or who's in a beginner tech role or who's in a non-cloud role and is looking to migrate into cloud?
Yes, we do. And I think that there are like even in non-tech roles, knowing about the cloud and having these skills are important. If you're a program manager, if you are a product manager, you're going to work with individuals that are using the cloud, so you need to know a little bit about it. And Abhi's role resonates. A few of the trainers that teach out of the skill centers also come from non-traditional backgrounds. One started her career at Amazon in a fulfillment center and worked her way up. She's since transitioned actually into solutions architect role as well. But it is about those connections and that willingness to learn and devote yourself to just growing your skills that I think will serve you well in any role.
So, Alisha, would you think that anyone can do it, or does it take a certain type of person to be able to go and migrate or move themselves into a cloud role?
I think that anyone can do it. You'd mentioned that there's a ton of resources, and sometimes it's about just trial and error. We do instructor-led training at the AWS Skills Centers, but there are programs like this. There's AWS Skill Builder, which is digital self-paced. I would strongly encourage anyone to try. You may find that it really isn't what makes you happy or is the right career path for you, but you won't know until you invest some time. And we're kind of on that cusp of, where AI is transforming everything. It's sort of like what the internet did 20 years ago. So I truly believe that you will be left behind if you're not actively growing and learning some of these technologies that are deeply injected across every part of our lives.
So essentially, start learning at the practitioner
Jump
level,
in.
start learning AI, learn. Oh man, that is really good insights. Thank you, Alisha. Abhi, so as an existing, now that you've reached that pinnacle of becoming a solutions architect, what would you say was the most important personality skill or factor or thing that you did that actually helped you become a solutions architect?
Well, fun fact, I believe I was one of the very few to get into AWS without any AWS certification. But the turning point for me to actually becoming a solutions architect at AWS was I used to write a lot of blogs. Since the beginning of my career or my professional career, I used to write a lot of technical content where I used it as a means to express myself. For someone, a socially introverted person like me, I would have never imagined in 2025 I would be live here in YouTube. But I used to express myself in words. I used to write a lot of content, and by content, I mean technical content. This really resonated well because as solution architects, you are considered to be trusted advisor for customers. And oftentimes they don't want you to speak. They want to see proof. They want to see facts. When I talk to our customers, they really ask if we have an AWS documentation that says what I just resonated. So I think a lot of the behavioral aspect, the soft skills, and the technical know-how is really important for you to become an SA, especially at an organization like AWS.
Well, that's great info. That's really great insight. And I love that fact that it's everybody can become a solutions architect, right? We all agree on that. There's no need to have some specific skills, while of course gaining those skills is important and learning those skills is important. I think that that's the major outcome for if you want to become a solutions architect, you got to be willing to learn, right?
Mhm.
That's correct.
All right. And thank you both. Thank you, Alisha. Thank you, Abhi, for being with us today. It's really wonderful that you were able to join us and talk a little bit about both a general transition into a cloud role and what becoming and what being a solutions architect really means to be. And I'd like to invite Ashish back to the stage, and maybe we can take some questions from the audience. Ashish.
Yeah, why not? Let's pick up some questions from the audience. And I have one question for you, Alisha. A lot of people may not know about what is skill builder. So, sorry, what is your skills center? So can you give some detail about what is skills center?
Absolutely. Thank you, Ashish. So AWS's training and certification department have a number of tools out there that are available for anyone to use. Is a free tier on Skill Builder. The AWS Skills Centers are part of a broader educational program, so everything that we do is free. We have 3 physical learning hubs, one in Seattle, Washington, one in Arlington, Virginia, and one in Cape Town, South Africa, where anyone is encouraged to come in, engage with interactive exhibits, and take our classes. Now, there are just 3 locations, so the good news is that the classes are available virtually as well. And we have a number of paths. So there is one for individuals that don't have any tech background to upskill into tech called Computer Foundations. We have one called Becoming a Cloud Practitioner that will lead you through what you would need to know in order to sit for the Cloud Practitioner certification. And we just launched a Becoming an AI Practitioner series, which is in 5 parts. There's an exam prep series or class as well that anyone is able to sign up and join virtually. You get access to AWS technical instructors like Marko and Avi were, but those that work directly for the skill centers.
Makes sense. That's a good one. So yeah, that's a good resource, and it's not a physical limitation to join these courses. Virtually
Yeah.
available, so you do not need to be physically present. So leverage these resources. There are a lot many resources in Skill Center, Skill Builder also, Alisha, right?
Correct. Yeah. A lot of learning paths, even into like the solutions architect or professional certification levels as well.
Great. I'll pick a question for Abhi here, and maybe it's an impromptu question, so feel free to deflect if you can't answer, Abhi. So how can one transition to cloud ops engineer from analytics field, right? You were into analytics.
That's correct. Yeah. So as a data or business analyst, you preferably would be working in an environment where you would be given a bunch of data, and then the goal would be to reach a particular workflow. So you'd be understanding the patterns, the atom patterns, etc., to reach that final destination. But if your goal is to transition from a data or a business analyst to a cloud operations, a lot of my consulting experience has into an ops, preferably were service oriented. So let's assume you want to work as a cloud ops administrator within AWS. Learning the services like AWS Systems Manager would be very key. There are very few services within AWS that are essential for you to become a cloud operations engineer. So the first thing I would say would be to upskill yourselves into learning which are those technical services that you would need to enhance, where you stand, and then what are the skill gap that you would need to uncover to reach that ultimate position.
Makes sense. That's a good one. And yeah, that's good. And there was a question also, I'm still finding it, like somebody's asking, should I go for a AI certification or a cloud practitioner certification? What is your take on this, Abhi?
Well, the AI practitioner certification from AWS is a beginner-friendly exam that allows you to demonstrate your skills on the various AI tools we have within our tool set. So anything from Bedrock and then the latest Agent Core, it allows you to just know the technical breadth of AI tools in AWS. However, if you are a beginner who may not have good experience about cloud computing in general, I would highly recommend to pursue the cloud practitioner exam, which was my first exam that I had pursued back in 2019 with a different cloud provider. And even in AWS, after joining AWS, that was my first exam that I had passed. So in terms of rating, I would always prefer the cloud practitioner first and then the AI practitioner exam.
Makes sense.
Yes, get your
And
fundamentals right before jumping onto
exactly.
AI.
I want to highlight one thing, Prasad, here from somebody who is sending message again and again. Hey, please don't hijack the chat. You're sending same question multiple time. It doesn't help. So please restrain from that. I can see that question 20 times. So it's not good practice. Please don't do that. Let other also ask question and let not get our volunteer get distracted by the same question. If you are not able to get answer, probably there is something where we are answering it. So please be little patient and be respectful for others' time also. So please refrain from it. We don't want to block anyone. So please be little mindful.
I have
Okay,
put the
good.
user on timeout. Thanks for
Right,
highlighting. Ashish,
Prasad.
I have one question that I would like to
Right.
add
Yes.
here, which is this. Do we have a lead code or any coding round in the interview? I'll let Abhi answer it or anyone else who wants to take it, and then I'll add my...
Yeah, no, absolutely. For the solutions architect role, no. So probably the misconception from others that I have seen again and again is you need to have some coding experience to become a solutions architect. No, I do not have a coding background, so let's keep it that way. But to answer Kishore's question, we do not have a lead code round, but what you would have is a presentation round. So there are a series of interviews that you need to pass. If I would say the most important one, more than a technical round, is the presentation round. So that means you'd be given a scenario, or you would be given the opportunity to select a scenario, and they would ask you to walk over the scenario as a solutions architect. So you would ask questions about cost, you would ask what are the burning concerns that the customer would have, and then what are the AWS tools that would help you to address those challenges and help them migrate successfully to AWS. So no lead code rounds, but a technical presentation round for sure.
Yes, and I'm trying to paste a link in the chat. Let me see if I can do that, which is the playlist for the solutions architect interview that we did in our behavioral round last time. So here is the playlist. Yes, I think I pasted it in the right place. So you will be, this is a playlist of, I think, 8 sessions back to back. Of half an hour each with a different guest speaker from AWS who talks about end-to-end the interview process of solution architect at AWS more specifically, but you will be able to get a glimpse into how generally in industry the solutions architect interview process works. And yes, that's the misconception that you do not, you will need a coding round. It doesn't generally happen that, at least for solution architect role. It's more on the architecture and your design skills, I would say, for the architecture and how you explain it. Cool.
Probably this is a
question
for, yeah, there is a question, and probably Alisha can answer it. What is AWS Cloud Institute?
Yes, so AWS Cloud Institute is a paid program where you are able to get upskilled through, if you do it full-time, it's about 30 hours a week, and it would take 9 months. You can go for 15 months as part-time or an extended part-time for 27 months. It is a way. I don't think that it's completely global just yet, but for individuals that are serious about getting a cloud role, there are a lot of hands-on labs and interaction with AWS employees, and I will find the link and share it.
Makes sense. That's good.
Now there is another question I see here. Does AWS interview at AWS need prior experience of AWS architecting? I'll share my experience and then I'll let other folks share their experience. When I interviewed in 2019, I had 0 AWS experience, literally 0 AWS experience. So it was during the interview process that I took a Udemy course by Ryan Kurenberg at that time, like, a cloud guru. And during the interview process, I learned, because there was an assignment that was given, which was deploying a CloudFormation template that was provisioning a web service, and the web service was not configured properly, so we had to fix that. The issue was very small, but because I did not even know what a CloudFormation template is at that time, so I had to take the entire course and upskill myself, and then solving it took probably 5 minutes. It was just a small knuckle issue or something like that at that time. So getting into the interview process, no, you do not require. But during the interview process, it will be better for you to show, learn, and be curious, which is one of the leadership principles for Amazon, and get some skills so that you can show that you are willing to go there. I did not have any AWS certifications. I got all my AWS certifications after joining AWS. Within first 3 months, I got probably all the 3 associate certifications at that time. Now I think we have 5 associate certifications. It's becoming harder and harder. And a couple of professional certifications. Yeah, so that was my experience. So answer is no. You do not require to get into the interview process. But once you're in the interview process, it's better, you pick up some skills. Abhi, probably you might want to share your experience.
Yeah, no, I think it pretty much resonates to you as well, Prasad. It's not mandatory to have a prior AWS experience, especially in the architecting world, but it's good to have some cloud experience. So for me, it was the same. I did not have any AWS certifications until I joined AWS, but I did used to architect on Azure and GCP. And there's this one person that I would like to actually thank at this point, ex-AWS Principal Solutions Architect, who goes by Rajdeep Saha, or Cloud with Raj. I used to watch a lot of his tutorials back then. And one of his videos about how the architecture of Netflix, who's actually one of our proud customers of AWS, works, I did learn and embrace the way how he presented. And that was actually one of my interviews of presenting an architecture. That's what exactly I did. But to answer this question, it's not mandatory to have any prior AWS architecting experience, but having some cloud experience would be perfect throughout your interview stages.
Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, I mean, tons of resources available. Everyone's path is different. Everyone has a different way of learning things. But I got a question, Marko, which can be probably with you. And like, there was a question about, I'm still finding it, like, there are so many resources available, right, to learn. So how somebody would be ensuring that, hey, I'm looking for the right resource. Yeah, this is a question which I have. Like, how to evaluate a resource learning before to invest time or money on it? That's a question for you, Marko. You've been a trainer, so probably you are into best shoe to answer this question.
Oh, for sure, for sure. So there are too many resources out there. Let's be honest, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to admit that there are too many resources. Now, what I would say is follow the people that are in the know. Follow me on LinkedIn, right? I have to promote myself a little bit. Follow the people that are in the know that are recommending you these things. You'll see across the board that there's going to be some training, some courses, some specific links to specific things that are going to be promoted by a lot of different people. And that probably means that all of those things have already been evaluated by those individuals out there, and they're probably good. They're probably good. Now, you might not find it to be the right thing because we have different types of modalities to learn from. Some people like watching videos. Some people like joining live streams. Like at least 300 people today have proved that fact that they love watching live streams. Some people like to do self-paced courses, labs. Some people like to go to a classroom course. Now, there are all of those modalities available out there. It is going to take a little bit of research. Follow the crowds, follow the people who are promoting training, follow everybody here, follow everybody who's becoming a solutions architect. We're all very familiar with what training is out there, and this program wouldn't exist if there was already good training to become a solutions architect out there, would it? We're filling the gaps, right? So yeah. It takes a little bit of research. If you dive into some course, if you dive into something and you see, this is not really for me, abandon it. If somebody's asking you for money up front without showing you any free portions of the courses where you can evaluate it, don't do it, okay? There's so many free resources. There's BeSA, there's free courses on Skill Builder, there's Skills Center, there's free videos on YouTube, on other channels. There's so much free stuff. If you've covered all the free stuff and you're still eager for learning more, then there's going to be a lot of paid stuff out there. Like we've got labs on Skill Builder. There's over 1,000 labs. They require a subscription. Why? Because there's an account. There's an actual AWS account that is opened for you, is scripted for you, is designed, is deployed, gives you a challenge sometimes, gives you something to solve, a problem to solve. It's something that you just can't learn on your own. A scripted lab or a challenge lab, it's not something that you can build on your own. But if you are willing to build something on your own, you can. You can always open up an AWS free tier account and experiment. There's the workshops as well. So AWS has a bunch of workshops. Workshops.aws is the address. on the workshops, you will find, I think it's over 2,000 different workshops that you can run on your own if you want to. There are all kinds of topics. And you know who they're built by? They're built by the AWS solutions architects like Abhi, like Nabil that we had before, like everybody that you've seen today, all of the solutions architects, they build these workshops. So it's learning that is applicable to a specific topic. You can go very deep. There's some very deep dives there. There's some dives that are so beyond my knowledge that I don't even understand them yet. So yeah, I think that there's a lot of options, perhaps too many options, but if you find the right ones, stick with the ones that work for you.
Yeah, and one size doesn't fit all. Like so some people may like reading, some may want to watch video, and that's why if you check the mails we sent after the session, we will try to include three things. One, for people who learn by watching. So there is a YouTube video link for reinvent videos, which are important one. Then we share workshop links. So somebody who learns through hands-on, they could go ahead and do hands-on. Then people sometimes like reading, so we include a blog post also. So in our follow-up email, which we send, we include these things. One is YouTube video for reinvent. Second is any workshop which you should do. And third is any important blog post. So don't just skim the mail, go through that, read it, find out what your learning habit is, how you learn. Like I learn by comparing it to analogies. I don't learn without it. I have to compare it with something which I have physically seen. Then only I retain that knowledge. So find out what niche works for you, what method works for you, teach it to someone, right? Figure out, create a small group, maybe try to create a video, maybe publish it internally in your company. But yeah, share it and you will start learning based on that.
Yeah,
one of the add something.
Yeah, one of the things that I would say is learn in public. That helps
exactly.
a lot because then you become, exactly, you become accountable, and the kind of energy you would get from the people who would be on a similar journey, it's amazing. And then you become, you become a part of a small community, and you all push each other to learn more. So try and see whatever you're learning, share it on LinkedIn. And then you will see more people coming along together with you, and then you all can find your own tribe.
I agree on that. That makes sense. And then we are like coming to the tail end of our session. So I'd like to try to give you some more things about doing on your own. So yes, we did a lot of talking, we did a lot of demo and all, but yeah, what is the next step for all of you who are joining us? We would recommend that complete the knowledge check. So we will be publishing the knowledge check in 24 hours of time. So check that and then complete knowledge check. You will get a shiny badge for week 2. And whoever completes all 6 badges, you will be getting attendance certificate for that. Practice the hands-on workshop. Will share the link into the email which is coming up. And people who are not receiving email, either you are not part of the list or you are joining it from LinkedIn. So make sure you have fill up the form on our website so that we have your email address and we can communicate to you. So practice the hands-on workshop. Be active and support your peer. There is a Discord channel. If you figured out something, you found a better video, you found a better learning, you learned something new, share it so others get benefited from it. And share your learning widely, as BeSA said. So learn out loud. Let people know what you're doing. Even if it's okay if you make mistake, it's okay that people would correct you sometime, but it is still a learning. So don't hesitate from that. So that's all I wanted to share. And any last word before we give our guest a thank you and then add other people also on the chat? That's good. So thanks.
Be consistent for all the 6 weeks.
Consistency
a lot of people,
is important.
Start, but then taper off. We understand. It's hard. Taking out 6 weekends is not easy, and that is completely fine if you're not able to. Any weekend you get busy. Come back and watch the videos in your own time when you have time, but try and see that how you can be consistent for all the 6 weeks and beyond. If you're especially transitioning, as Marko said, why not migrate the people? Especially, it will be a long journey. It will not be that you'll be able to, coming from a non-technical background or a non-cloud background, to become a solutions architect in 6 weeks even. I know people who have taken 6 months, a year, a couple of years. Like me and Ashish have written a book, Cloud Career Journeys, and you'll have so many stories in there where you will see that almost a year of good effort, and then you would be like Abhi here. And we would love to see more and more people from BeSA joining us and sharing their success stories.
Yeah, career is not an instant noodle. It takes time. So prepare for it. You need a proper recipe. You need proper ingredients, and you need to know a way to cook it around, and it will take time. So it takes time. So to build a career, you are not looking for a transition like a 2-minute noodle type of thing, right?